Hey everybody, this is Walt.
This is Max.
And you are listening to our podcast about dystopian cinema.
The Future Sucks, aka, and we are Useless Info Inc. And today we are doing Battle Royale. From 2000, directed by Kinji Fukasaku. Alright, well, let's start out with a little summary.
Of course.
We synopsize this. So this is around the turn of the millennium. In this timeline, typical situation, employment is bad. Juvenile delinquents are ruling the streets. So Japan enacts the Battle Royale Act, which consists of what exactly?
Which basically these kids, when they're in 9th grade, get shipped off to a desert island and they have to kill each other.
They choose a different class randomly each year, right?
It's a lottery.
Yeah, it's through a lottery system, yeah.
Right.
And they set them up, they give each one a weapon.
Well, they get a
quote
map,
unquote,
some food,
yeah,
and
then some
mysterious weapon, like Cracker Jack
which could
fries.
which could be a weapon, or it could be like a fan,
right?
As we see,
right, as we'll get into, yeah.
And then they get unleashed upon each other. So we meet some people, and we first meet Shuya, right? Our protagonist, Shuya Nanahara, and his father just committed suicide, right?
And leaves that weird note on a stream of toilet paper.
Go, Shuya, do it.
Do it,
you can do it, yes. Which might come back later, I don't know.
It's a rough scene.
Yeah. And so he goes to 7th grade class to find that nobody's there.
Right.
Right? And his teacher, Kitano, is pissed off.
Wait, was that him? No, that was the female protagonist. That was Noriko.
Oh, he doesn't show up there. Doesn't he show up there? You're right. Yeah. Noriko shows up there. Yeah, that's right.
And he's pissed off sitting there, and he's erasing the board.
Right.
Then when he leaves the classroom, that's when he bumps into
Nobu.
Nobu, right.
Yeah.
Stabs him.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird. We'll have to get in that later.
Right.
So Kitano, the teacher, quits class, and 2 years later, they're all in 9th grade, and they go off on a field trip.
Class 3B. Did you ever have classifications like that when you were in school? Because I did in junior high school, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was a Japanese thing.
No, they had it in junior high school here in the city.
Maybe West Coast is different. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Interesting. So then they get in a bus. They're going on some kind of a field trip, and then they get gassed.
Right.
And they wake up on, let's just call it Battle Royale Island.
Yeah,
for lack of a better term.
Monster Island.
And then they see and Kitano is there, their teacher from 2 years ago.
Right.
But he's the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Right? And they watch a video, and it's narrated by cutesy woman straight out of some anime thing.
Exactly, with the green hair and stuff. And
describing the rules of Battle Royale.
And all peace and, doing peace signs and, all happiness. Very bubbly.
And 2 kids end up dying during this whole thing because one girl isn't listening.
Right.
So Kitano just flat out kills her.
Yeah.
And Nobu, he gets a demonstration.
Right.
Because each kid has a little necklace around their necks, which can be exploded.
Right.
And just like
take the head off.
Take their head off.
The motivation is don't get your head blown off.
So you have 3 days, right? You have 3 days to kill each other. If at the end of 3 days more than one person is alive, everybody's dead.
Everybody gets it.
With the necklaces. And there are also random zones that get activated, and anyone in that zone in that hour gets their heads blown off.
Or I thought it was mined or something. No, you're right. Because how would they mine?
Yeah. It's because they're all being
right.
They're all. So you have to read a map at the same time.
Right, they give you a map, some food.
You've got like this grid system.
Right.
You've got a lot going on during this competition. So they get unleashed on each other.
Right.
Right. And our protagonists are Shuya and Noriko.
Yeah.
They kind of bond, and we're kind of seeing it through their eyes. And they're 2 so-called transfer students.
Right. One is
these are
Shogu. Is it Shogu?
Yeah, Kawada, yeah. Shogo Kawada.
Right.
And Kiriyama is the other one, right?
Right.
Now, Kawada kind of befriends our 2 protagonists. He kind of starts looking out for them.
Yeah.
Whereas Kiriyama is like a psychopath.
He's a psycho.
He's just out there to kill everybody he comes across.
He's like the Japanese John Lydon on crack.
Yeah, he is
with the spiky red hair
and so a lot of things happen. A lot of kids get killed. We'll get
very quickly in the first day.
Yeah, we'll get deeper into those things. There's also kind of a female equivalent of Kiriyama, Mitsuko, and she's just flat out murdering left and right
with the sickle.
Yeah. They of course have a matchup at one point. Kiriyama kills her, and then we kind of get so there's various things going on. Then there's this one group of nerds, basically
the hackers,
in a building,
right,
hacking, building bombs, and they're going to try to take down the whole system. And
at first, they figure out that there are also microphones in the
which
necklaces.
is crucial.
Yeah.
Yes, so they're smart about it. And at some point, Kitano, the commander guy, shows up and gives Noriko an umbrella.
Yeah, right.
Which is super helpful when you're trying to fight for your life.
Well, because at that point, Shuya was almost mortally wounded.
Yeah.
He was, walking with a stick. Mm-hmm. He was because he ran into that other tribe of girls.
Yeah.
That were trying to stay alive, basically. In that, what was it, like some med center or some building or whatever?
It was in a lighthouse.
In a lighthouse. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right. I just watched the movie. You would think I would remember that. But. Yeah. So it's in the lighthouse, and they kind of save him from near death.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they kill each other.
Yeah. They turn on each other.
Yeah.
Which would, you know what? I hate to say it, but you kind of think that would happen in a situation or a scenario like this.
Well, it's that thing
at
where,
one point or another.
They're all happy until a man showed up.
Right.
And then they,
Doesn't she make that one? She dresses his wounds. I never touched a guy before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird moments because they're kids. They're ninth graders. So there's a lot of moments like that, and a lot of professing love to each other, unrequited love.
It's like all of that kind of teenage stuff. Soap opera drama gets played out here, except with guns and knives and other lethal instruments.
And brutal deaths.
Yes, it's pretty, it's out there. Okay, so as people get kind of whittled down, and we kind of get down to the basics, right?
Right.
We get down to our three protagonists, shall we say. Kiriyama kills the group of nerds before they can set off their bomb, but they've managed to hack into
the network mainframe.
Yeah, so they've managed to achieve that. And then Kawada kills Kiriyama.
Right.
Yeah. And so then we've got three of them left. And then Kawada pulls kind of a neat trick on Kitano, because he pretends that he's killed Noriko and Shuya. Right? Because he says that. So then Kitano has to assume that they're dead. So Kawada shows up, but then Noriko and Shuya show up, and they basically take Kitano down.
Right.
And they escape. Kawada dies on the boat on the way back, but he dies fulfilled, because he's a leftover from a previous battle royale. Right. And he's kind of come back because he wants to understand what his girlfriend meant when she thanked him when she died in the previous one, and it's really kind of
her last smile.
Her last smile, yeah.
Where she thanks him and smiles.
A lot of interesting stuff going on besides the violence in this movie.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
And then last we see of Noriko and Shuya, they're back in Tokyo. And
on the run.
They're on the run, and the last word on screen is run.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it ends.
And that's how it's going to be for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much, what happens.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a lot of questions about this movie. Well, so what is the purpose of the Battle Royale Act exactly?
It's not entirely explained.
Because there are two problems, right? Unemployment and juvenile delinquency.
Right.
How does Battle Royale supposed to act as a corrective to either of those things?
I don't know,
right?
really.
Okay, so I would understand it if maybe you've got all these classes, and the ones that are like the worst offending, the one with the most delinquents, you get just sent to the island.
Yeah.
So then it's an incentive to be kind of good and do your schoolwork, because otherwise you don't want to end up on Battle Royale Island, right? You know?
Right, yeah, of course not. But, or, there might be some delinquents that will go,
yeah, maybe, but then you get to kill them off and clean them out of society.
Right.
So it's a win-win, right?
But it's also killing off youth, Instead of rehabilitating them, it's just killing them off.
Yeah.
So after a while...
But if they're picking them randomly...
With this lottery,
Like this, with the exception of Nobu, this class doesn't seem particularly bad in any way.
Right.
Right? I mean, they just seem like typical kids.
They're just kind of, loser kids.
Yeah.
They don't really pay attention to their studies. They're in 3B. I mean, that's got to, like I said, when we had classifications, when I was in junior high school, if you were in, 7th grade and you were in 7A, that means you were in the A class. If you were in 7B or 6B, you were in the B class or C class. Or D. D was like, you're kind of remedial.
Okay. So you think they'd pick out, like, the Ds.
You would think
the lowest one. So then, again, it's like an incentive to, do better.
Right.
But if you know that any class can be picked randomly, to me, it's almost like the opposite. Like, if I know that my class would be picked, could be picked, I'm not going to study. I'm gonna join a gang and learn survival skills.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Quit school.
I don't know how it's supposed to work.
See, and that's the heartache with that one kid that was friend of Shuya, where he teaches him guitar. He left school.
Nobu, yeah.
Nobu, yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes back to school, and he's on that bus.
Yeah.
This is a kid that quit school. Now he's on that bus, and he winds up being one of the first kids killed.
Yeah.
Which is really fucked
Well,
up.
he did slash Kitano.
It was him, Nobu?
Yeah, it was him.
Oh,
yeah,
see, I never made that connection. Thank you for
you
clarifying.
barely see him.
It's like a flash.
You barely
Right.
see him, but then Kitano says specifically,
Right.
Nobu, you hurt me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
he kind of takes revenge on him in that scene.
Exactly.
When they were
Yeah.
all corralled.
Yeah,
right.
exactly,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, the other thing I thought is that maybe it's like, breads and circuses thing. Like, they have these brutal games to kind of distract the populace from their problems.
Right.
But it's not televised.
Right.
I mean, you see the winner at the end
it's
is
news,
on the news cameras,
yeah,
and she's got the most psychopathic smile I've
which
ever
the
seen.
movie opens with.
Yeah.
She's got braces and
Yeah,
the
and
whole thing. A
she's
teddy bear.
Teddy bear.
Yeah.
But that's only like at the end.
Right.
I mean, it would be like holding the Super Bowl in an empty stadium and then having an interview with the winners, right?
Right,
Like, what's the
right,
point? You
right.
don't sell anything. You don't,
Right. Yeah, no,
So
it's true.
I don't quite. It's something that's kind of unresolved.
It's some weird dystopian thing, where I thought the first time I watched it was maybe there's an overpopulation problem. I mean, Japan is really overpopulated.
Yeah.
It just turns out that this is an alternate version of modern day Japan, is what I read. That's also explained in the book that this is based on.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and the speech that Kitano gives, the teacher, he just says, the big wigs upstairs just decided that we should do this to weed out who's good, who's worth living, who's worth, their salt in life or what have you.
Yeah.
So this is what you got to do.
Okay.
And he kind of goes with it, too, because he's so pissed off from being a teacher and not being respected by the youth of Japan in this dystopian alternate future. See, I like that idea because it's really explored in film, where it's modern day, it's just an alternate reality, instead of this is taking place, 100 years from now. So I kind of like that aspect of the film.
Well, speaking of Kitano, this... okay, a lot of things around this guy. Well, first, you know this actor, Takeshi Kitano? Have you seen his Have you seen his other movies?
I've seen Violent Cop.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it, and that was his directorial debut, and I think I wrote it down.
Violent Cop is good.
89, yeah.
Hanabi is, I think, one of his best.
Yeah.
There's one called Boiling Point.
Have you? I might have seen. No, I can't remember it if I did.
So Boiling Point is either a really dark comedy or it's like a nutballs drama, and I can't. Two guys on an amateur baseball team get mixed up with the Yakuza. Okay.
All right, I'm ready. I want to see it.
One of whom is played by Takeshi Kitano. And they go to Okinawa to buy weapons because, of course, it's Japan, so you need to go to a U.S. air base to buy weapons. It is bonkers. It is completely wild. You got to check it out sometime.
Would you say more so than Shaolin Soccer or Kung Fu Hustle? Because I think he was kind of maybe influenced by...
In a different way.
Yeah.
In a different
Because those are
way.
slapstick.
Oh, no, this is not slapstick.
Okay.
This is like, that's what I mean about, like, the tone is kind of hard to read.
Yeah.
Like, there's some psychopathic shit going on.
I got to see this now.
But,
All right.
and you don't know what's supposed to be funny and what's not supposed to be funny.
Okay.
I mean, it's really, it's like that.
Well,
yeah.
I read that he's more known as a comedic actor.
He was, in the 70s, he was like in a comedy duo.
Yeah, because that's why he got beat as a nickname.
It would be like seeing Robin Williams in Goodfellas or something, you know?
Imagine that.
Yeah. It's. I think it's like it's.
All my life,
that's
I always wanted to
equivalent.
be a gangster.
Yeah.
All my life, I've always wanted to be a gangster.
I think I'm funny. Well, he plays. He's got this kind of Kitano thing.
Okay.
This persona that I've seen in his
He
movies.
looks tough.
He looks tough, but he's kind of he keeps it back.
Right.
You know, like he doesn't like overact. He's just like really restrained. In all his movies, he kind of plays it that way.
Maybe a little stoic.
A little stoic. And seeing him, he does the same thing in this movie. It kind of stands out for me. It's almost like, so when Jack Nicholson played the Joker in Batman, he did a fine job, but the whole time you're like, that's Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't disappear into the character.
Right.
Kitano's kind of like that for me. Like,
Okay.
in this one, it's like, that's Takeshi Kitano.
Right,
Whereas
right, right.
all the kids they're just like random actors.
Right.
You know, you can just believe them. And his character, I can't get a handle on.
Okay. Yeah.
So so early on he's a teacher. So then in 2 years does he become the commander of the Battle Royale thing?
Right,
Or
right.
like because he's
How
in
does that
charge,
happen?
right?
Yeah.
He's totally in charge.
Did he sign up for it, or How does that happen?
Because that's
Sure.
the thing he wants to do.
Right.
And
I
then
want to see these kids get it.
yeah, and then he gives Noriko an umbrella, and
Right.
he's got some thing about Noriko.
Yeah, he's got
That
this
painting?
weird. Oh yeah, where she's in the middle of all the kids
with
dying.
like a weird halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has a dream about him.
Right.
Right?
Right. Where they're sitting eating ice cream
Yeah.
on the shore
Where
of
he's
some lake.
kind of alone.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get along with his daughter.
Right. He's got problems. He answers the phone a couple of times in the film.
And the last time he answers the phone, he's been riddled by bullets.
Yeah.
He's lying on the ground. The phone rings. He just pops up.
Yeah.
He
Right.
just pops right
He's
up
like right. Exactly.
and grabs the phone.
I'm not going to be home for dinner.
Says goodbye to his daughter.
Yeah.
And
Eats the last of the cookies that he took from Noriko.
What is going on with that?
See, that's why I like it, because this movie is a lot of fun in the sense that if you can really let go and enjoy a grindhouse picture without thinking so much, you'll have fun with it.
I think there's a lot to think about, though.
Well, there
That's
are.
a thing.
There
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
But veneer is that
Okay.
it's a grindhouse film. Yeah, there are layers. But for me, the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, it was great.
Okay.
Just because of that. On multiple viewings, for me, I'm starting to get some of the other stuff. Starting.
Okay. So what other stuff do you feel you're getting?
Kids suck. Ninth graders stink. A lot of unrequited love. I don't know,
It's pretty great the way they play out those playground rivalries
Yeah.
on this island.
Right.
Because you hear that over and over again. You know, you
Right.
slept with my boyfriend or whatever.
Right.
And like, yeah.
Right.
So, of course, even though they're fighting for their lives, there are some guys who still have that one thing on their minds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like Nihida says to Chigusa,
Oh, yeah.
if we're going to die, why don't we just have sex once?
You want to die a virgin? And that she also played Go-Go in Kill
Go-Go
Bill.
body. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She kills the fuck out of him.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
She's like working out like nothing's going on. She's jogging around the
Yeah.
whole thing, and this guy comes after her in the whole nine and
Yeah.
professes his love, then whips out a crossbow on her and demands that, that they fuck. And she whips his ass.
Yeah.
She
Yep.
stabs him in the nuts, dude. She goes to town on his nuts with a blade. Oh.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
shit made
it's
me,
intense.
made me cross my legs.
One thing that I love about this. So I haven't read the novel, but
I haven't either.
I'm assuming that you've got 42 kids in this, right?
Right, 42. Yeah.
I'm assuming that in the novel you get really deep into their backstories.
I'm sure, yeah.
But what I like in this is that, and I think it's really tough to do when you're writing a script, to kind of distill those backstories into their kind of their essence moments.
Right.
Because I do feel like with all these characters, when they die, you get a sense of who they were.
Right.
In just a very few lines of dialogue and acting. And I think that's really pretty incredible.
Well, I also think when it comes to certain movies like this, you have to do one of two things. If it's a horror movie, they have to be unlikable if they're going to have a horrible death.
Right.
So that the audience really doesn't feel for that character.
Okay.
Or the minimal information that you get, the audience doesn't feel for that character. And like you said, out of 42 kids, a lot of them happen kind of very quickly. Now, if you're going to have 42 deaths in a film, you have to kind of go one route or the other.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of faceless. Like the kids that hung themselves, the kids that jumped off the cliff.
Yeah.
You don't really, who are they again? Because you can't keep track of 42 characters in a movie. And some films, especially in horror films, you can have maybe 7.
Yeah.
Or 8. So in this, there's 42.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to rush through them at one point or another. And I think in the first day, the first couple of hours, there's something like 12 deaths that occur as soon as they're let loose on the island.
They count off every single one
Yeah,
on screen.
yeah.
We don't see
Right.
all of them, but we do see them accounted for.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think basically a lot of them are dispatched kind of off screen in that manner, but
Or you get a quick shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But some of them get really good moments, I think. Like one that I really liked was Sugimura and Kotohiki, where he's kind of looking for her. He likes her. She's afraid of him. She kills him.
Right.
Yeah. But then he he warns her to run away because the bullets will attract
Right,
others.
to run,
Like
right.
he's still like looking out for her, even though she's just like shot him.
She shot the hell
Like,
out of him.
oh
Yeah,
man,
and he's laying there in the water and the whole thing. Run!
it's full of these little tragic moments, which it draws me in. That's the thing. I mean, if I care about the characters, then I'm much more invested in the movie.
Right.
And I was invested in Shuya and Noriko.
Right.
I like Kawada's story because he has a reason to be there.
Yeah.
Like there's a thing he's trying to find out about.
Well,
you know?
they got drawn back in.
Yeah.
Him and spiky-haired dude.
Kiriyama, yeah.
Kiriyama.
Yeah.
To up the ante for whatever reason during this battle
Kiriyama
royale.
volunteered.
Oh, he volunteered.
I think, right? Don't they say that?
I don't even remember
because
if he
he's
did.
a freaking psychopath. He just wants to kill as many people
That
as possible.
scene on the beach where he gets all their weapons.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was...
They try to bully him.
Yeah, there's a
and-
whole gang.
Yeah. He takes them all out. And then he has the nunchucks. He finds the girl's weapon.
Yeah.
And he's got the nunchucks and he throws them in the water.
Yeah.
I'd want every single weapon possible.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be walking around with a giant backpack.
Well,
and
if the last
wouldn't be
guy
able to
left,
fight.
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to fight because you're weighed down by this giant.
And he's got a
backpack.
bulletproof vest.
Right, that's
So
right.
he's
That he got from the
he's
other
got
kid.
everything, yeah.
And that fucked up scene with Shuya and his buddy where he's got the hatchet. When he's running down, he comes after.
Okay.
I forget the character's name. He's got a hatchet and he's saying how he starts doing math problems as he approaches them.
Okay, yeah.
And he's saying that, you know, if I win this, I'll get into a good school.
Yeah, right.
And then
yeah.
he tumbles with Shuya and winds up killing himself.
Yeah.
He gets a hatchet in his own head, in his
Yeah.
own skull. I was like, whoa, man. And then Shuya's all upset, asking Noriko, did I kill him? Did I do it? Did I, you know? Oh, because his weapon we haven't talked about. Shuya's weapon is a pot lid.
Pot lid, which comes in handy at one point because you use it as a shield, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes, we already kind of talked about briefly, is the lighthouse scene. Mm-hmm. I just love the fact that these girls are just trying to, like, they're just setting up house.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to, like, have peace and everything.
Yeah.
And Shuya comes in, and it was one of them because it was Yuko, right? Because she thought she saw Shuya kill another guy, Oki.
Right.
So then she like puts the poison in his food, but somebody else eats it, and they just slaughter it, and it was sad.
Yeah. It was messed up.
Yeah. Which when did you first hear about this movie?
Like I said, I saw it at the oh man, I'm gonna forget the Film Archives on 2nd Street and First Avenue.
Wait, had
the
you-
Film Archives.
Had you heard about it before you saw it?
No, I did not.
Okay, so it's
No, I
like you
haven't.
just like went inside. Okay.
Yeah, so the Film Archives, a friend of mine suggested this Asian Cinema Fest,
Okay.
and that's the first time I saw it.
This was 2000 what now?
Oh yeah, this is going back to like maybe 2002,
So this is
2003.
early on.
Yeah,
Because it came out in 2000, but it didn't get a wide release until 2010.
Maybe,
Eight?
yeah.
So, like for a while, like it was kind of doing the festival circuit,
right.
but it was hard to see.
Like I said, the copy that I have is bootleg.
Yeah.
It's a bootleg. After I saw it, there was this one DVD store that had bootlegs, you know, and bought it for a song and the whole thing because I wanted to own it because I thought it was a great film.
I think for a long period I kept hearing things about it, and I kind of just judged it as like, oh, it's just going to be like a cheapy slaughterhouse flick, you know. I wasn't really interested.
Right.
And then it showed up on Netflix on instant viewing. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll give it a go. I think maybe this is in advance of a trip I was taking to Japan anyway. So I was kind of like, you know, trying to like see more Japanese stuff. And I watched it, and I'm like, whoa, wait, no, this has got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, like all these other interesting things.
Well, like a lot of dystopian films do.
Yeah, I think so.
So it definitely has that. Like I said, the big question is why would, in this alternate dystopian Japanese future, would they decide to start killing off their children?
And at such a slow rate, if you really,
right.
if you really want to.
And like you said, for no entertainment value whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, well, we'll get into the Hunger Games comparison later.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
For no entertainment value whatsoever.
I guess at some point you just have to say, well, it is this way, so we can get this movie.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You got to suspend disbelief.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if maybe the book has more rationale for it.
I'm sure, probably.
And they just decided, well, you know, whatever, let's just go with it. Which I can do, but, you know, they just throw these little details in there, so it makes me think about it.
But why read the book when there's a movie? Reading's for suckers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you read the subtitles for this, didn't you?
I did. But like I said, some of the subtitles on my bootleg, I feel like they're a little wonky.
Now, I'm wondering if those are different from what I see on Netflix.
Or
from like the official, because they have like a box set DVD version out now, which probably has the best, most legitimate translation.
I'm sure,
on it,
because
right?
sometimes some of these, like I said, I was like, what just happened? What did he say?
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to talk about the director from Fukasaku. Have you seen any of his other movies?
I read online that he directed the Japanese portion of Tora Tora Tora.
Yes.
Beyond that, I haven't seen much of his work.
And the interesting thing about that is, who directed the American portion?
No.
Richard Fleischer.
Really?
Of Soylent Green fame.
So we got,
again. Yeah, we've got a little conjunction here, right?
Nice.
Two dystopian guys came out of that movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But he has done a fuck ton of movies. And
too much to read.
Yeah.
His IMDb credits are just
it's crazy.
long.
Yeah. And in the 70s, he did some really kind of groundbreaking Yakuza movies.
Okay.
I've seen 2 of them.
So would you say he's one of the godfathers of Yakuza film?
He kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
He really kind of established that genre in a way. The ones I've seen are one called Cops versus Thugs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Great, and one called Battles Without Honor and Humanity.
That's a great title.
Okay, and that's a 5-movie series. I've only seen the first one. It's like a saga.
Wow.
It's considered like the Yakuza version of Godfather.
Wow.
And these movies, well, from watching these movies, I could see there are certain I could see a distinct kind of Fukasaku style.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay.
They're like relentlessly forward, like just driving energy.
Okay.
One thing after another, boom, boom, boom. And for the 70s, the pacing was mad.
Right.
I mean, just really fast-paced.
Right.
Hyper-violent. In one of these movies, a guy chases down another guy on a bicycle and chops his head off with a sword. It's just bonkers.
Wait, was the other guy on a bike? Or
they're both on bicycles. Yeah.
All right.
And there are scenes where like a bunch of guys just like start fighting, like they get in a brawl, and it looks like they just chucked a camera like amongst them, and it just like got flailed around. Like the editing, the filmmaking, is just it's frenetic, which was really pretty amazing for the 70s. I mean, we've seen some 70s movies that are kind of slowly paced, deliberate.
Right.
This shit is not like that at all.
Gotcha.
It's crazy, and there are like 50 characters in each one, just like Battle Royale.
Just like Battle Royale, yeah.
And every time a Yakuza guy gets killed, they show his name on screen. Just like in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, so he had a signature style going, but I think he's, just based on these 3 movies, I think he's an underrated director.
Right.
Yeah, like he established his style back then, and he carried, I mean, this is his last movie.
I thought that he worked a little bit on Battle Royale, too.
A little. He worked on the script, I think.
Okay.
But I think his son finished the script, and maybe his son directed
all right.
Battle Royale 2 or something like that. I think this is his last kind of fully completed movie.
Right.
But he's one worth checking out.
Well, this also won some awards, if I remember correctly.
It did, yeah.
I don't know how many, because I saw it on IMDb, but I forget how many. I think it was something like out of 8, maybe he won 7.
Yeah.
For this film. Mm-hmm. So that's something. It was a big hit in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's a sensation.
And it took a lot before it came to the U.S. Like I said, when I got it, it was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could find was a bootleg.
Okay.
I was happy to get a bootleg with great quality. Mm-hmm. This is back when DVDs were made bootlegged with great quality.
Yeah.
Especially if you went to a real store, so to speak, quote unquote. Quote unquote. We got porn in the front and real movies in the back. So.
Wow. God, missed that time.
Those days is gone.
Now it's time for a segment that I like to call
Max's Bits!
Okay, I only got a couple of bits this time. Did you notice Kawada's shotgun?
Did I notice it?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Well, I noticed it, but...
Yeah, did it look familiar to you?
No. Was it used in another film?
It's a Frankie Spouse 12.
Okay.
That is the 12-gauge autoloader from
the
Terminator. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Because it's kind of the most like badass assault-looking shotgun.
Right.
It's like it's a military shotgun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll call back there.
Nice. Yeah. All right.
Shuya has a line. He says, "I've never really trusted adults." Now the interesting thing is,
based on the director's experience,
yes,
working
exactly.
in a factory.
Now, talk about that. That's what I was
I don't
gonna get
remember
to.
all the details, but it was around World War II. The factory he was working in got bombed.
His high school class got drafted to work in a munitions
That's
factory.
what it was,
Yeah.
right. Thank you for filling that in.
Yeah.
So the factory gets bombed, and literally the kids were just flying over each other
Yeah.
and covering each other up. So the kids that survived wound up being actually just put back to work.
Yeah.
So he hated adults from when he was I think he was 15,
Yeah. He
around
was a
15
kid.
years
Yeah.
old. So the reason why he would want to make a movie like this is very understandable.
He basically said that at that point he realized that the Japanese government was lying to them,
Right.
and he'd never really trusted adults.
Yeah. Well,
Which is interesting because he was about 70 when he made this movie.
right.
But I feel like the sympathies of this movie are squarely on the side of the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why a 7-year-old can make a movie that's this empathetic
Right.
with these kids, basically. I think that's what makes it work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, if you are a kid in this film, why would you trust any authority figure
Yeah.
at any point?
Yeah. And it resonated with Fukasaku.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got another bit?
No, that's all for my bits. But,
Really?
but, Walt, I'm feeling another segment coming on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm feeling that surge of blood that makes me want to introduce a new segment.
Okay.
We didn't talk about this, did we?
I'm a little bit afraid.
Okay. I'm going to call this segment Metal Moment.
Okay. Metal moment!
Thank you. Thank you for creating a theme song immediately. So, what is the most metal moment in this movie, in your opinion?
Most metal
Meaning,
moment.
so like the most extreme. So, if you scored this movie with a metal soundtrack, which moment would have the most badass metal riff to it?
Interesting.
What do you
Interesting
think?
concept.
Well, we'll try this out. We'll see if it ends up being a segment.
You know what? I kind of like the opening. With the girl smiling.
Okay.
Have a badass guitar riff as she's smiling like...
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And open
Yeah.
the film with that.
Okay, that's a good one.
And you?
I gotta go with when Kiriyama is shot in the neck thing,
In the throat.
and it blows up his, it activates it, and it just
Right.
blows his head off. That I thought it's kind of metal.
All right. The other one has to
Yeah.
be when the spiky-haired kid, what's his
Yeah.
name again?
Kiriyama.
Kiriyama.
Yeah.
Where he chops off the guy's head, stuffs a grenade in his mouth, and
Yes.
throws it.
Yes. No, that
throws
was
it into the clinic.
okay. Yeah,
That's a
that
major.
might-
You know,
that might be the most metal moment. Yeah.
So, metal moment.
And this, of course, might be a little crossover with our other podcast, Anti-Seminal, which you can probably find on the same channel through which you found this one. So we got a little thing going on there, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, well, have we...
I got
Yeah.
one. I got
I
one
want to hear
bit.
this. I want to hear it. Yeah,
I got one
Tell
bit.
me. Talk to me.
The actor that played Shuya,
Yeah.
Nanahara, he was also Light Yagami in the Death Note live-action film.
Oh, okay. I never saw those.
So, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't. I've seen the anime,
The anime. Yeah.
and I've seen the American Netflix version.
One with Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the reason why I wanted to watch it. It was
Yeah.
just Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. And he was the demon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was in that, in the Japanese live-action version.
Wait, so which character was he again?
He was Shuya.
He was...
Shuya Nanahara.
Wait, which character was he in Death Note?
He was Light.
Oh, okay.
He was
yeah,
Light.
yeah. That's a protagonist, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Light Yagami.
Yeah.
Nariko, I gotta mention this because I'm a Godzilla fan. She was in a couple of
who isn't?
Godzilla films.
Yeah.
So, and
The Millennium
Gamera
series?
film.
The recent ones?
Yeah, 2000 some odd.
Yeah.
She was in a couple of
Ah,
those.
cool.
And Shogu is now a politician serving as a member of the House of Chancellors in Japan.
Well, he's got the experience.
Yeah, so,
Cutthroat competition.
which is funny.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, cool.
Those are, little things that I learned,
Nice.
on the internet.
Did you want to discuss the Hunger Games thing?
Yeah,
We kind of have to,
kinda
right? Because
did.
yeah, it's yeah. Tell me.
well-
what do you think? Have you seen the Hunger Games, Walt?
No,
I haven't seen the Hunger Games.
I kind of refuse
I don't know if we're
to
gonna
watch them.
We're not going to do that on our podcast. Are we?
No, never.
we're
It's not going to happen.
It's
It's not going to happen.
Sorry, folks. I know you were hoping, but I don't think.
So the novel came out in 2008.
Yeah,
Battle Royale came out in 1999.
yeah. But do you think the novelists would have seen it since it was not?
They
in wide
deny,
release?
is what I've read.
Yeah,
They deny that
yeah.
they have.
Okay.
There are similarities. Of course, if you're going to take from something or be influenced by something, it would be great if you would just say,
Yeah.
we were influenced by. But they're denying.
I'm wondering if maybe the novelist was not influenced, but the filmmakers were. Because I feel like once the film started coming out,
right,
then this was a much wider release.
Right.
Right?
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the book, haven't seen the movie, so I only know the basic premise, which I understand is similar.
Right.
Yeah, but everyone else mentions it too.
Yeah, there's a big thing there. As soon as you type in Battle Royale, Hunger Games shows up.
It's like one of those things, you're either a Battle Royale person or you're a Hunger Games person.
So which person are you?
I think it's pretty obvious who we are.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to our podcast, we kind of think we know who you are too as well.
Exactly, yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think that's a good touch on that whole discussion. You got anything else?
Well, I did see on IMDb some of the taglines for the movie, which are always fun when it comes to certain action films and certain horror films.
Yeah.
So these are some of the better ones that I saw.
Yeah.
Their game, no rules, no prisoners. That's a Schwarzenegger film, right? Could you kill your best friend? Probably one of my favorites. That's a good tagline for this film.
Yeah, and that is the thing that happens in this movie.
1 dead, 41 to go.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good too, right? 42 students, 3 days, 1 survivor, no rules. Once again, a Schwarzenegger film. Today, I killed my best friend is one of the poster taglines.
Huh. That one could be a lot of different movies.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one is, have you ever killed your best friend?
A lot of best friend shit going on.
I know, right?
There.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of unrequited love
but
and the whole
but in
thing.
the movie, the best friends are frequently pretty tight.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really have a scene where someone is explicitly like, you're my best friend, but I have to kill you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right. You know what? It's more the girls.
It's more the girls.
It's more the girls that kind of get mad at each other. Yeah. Which is kind of weird, too.
Yeah. So out of those taglines, which do you think would most make you want to see this movie if you knew nothing else about this movie?
2, maybe.
Yeah.
Their game, no rules, no prisoners.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Like I said, that's very 80s to me, and that would make me see a film regardless.
Yeah.
If it's an action-type dystopian film. Mm-hmm. Could you kill your best friend?
Huh, okay.
That would interest me.
Okay, yeah.
So, but you wouldn't really know what the movie's about, but it would intrigue you.
It would
intrigue me. Yeah. What about you?
It's got to be 42 students, 3 days, 1 survivor, no rules.
I knew you were going to go for that one. I knew it.
I like the way that just distills it to the essence.
Right.
And hearing that students, something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just brings out that
is
high
the
school
biggest
angst thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
Yeah.
That really describes what's happening. That is the biggest.
Well, okay, what is your overall assessment of this movie, since we're getting to that point?
I really like it. Like I said, there are different aspects to the film.
Yeah.
You can delve deep with this if you like, but you can also view it as just a grindhouse film. Okay. So I think it can appeal to 2 different types of audience, 2 different types of viewers for me. And sometimes I like that because I like great cinema, of course, and then I like, fun cinema. So this kind of has it going in spades a little bit. It kind of has both of those things going on for me.
Okay.
So I think it's a great grindhouse film that does make some statements, especially if you want to delve deeper. You don't really get your questions answered with this film at all, especially kind of the way it ends. You don't know if, they're going to go back to it or, they're just on the run. What happens when they're on the run? Yeah. What's going on, So I enjoy it. I think it's a well-made film by a competent director that knew how to direct a violent film.
Oh, yeah. The action shooting in this movie
is fantastic.
And he's done a lot of that. I mean,
Yeah,
but
like we discussed.
But it's not shot like a 70s action movie.
No.
It feels really fresh and new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to say that it came out in 2000, if the director had lived, what would he have done after?
Yeah. You don't know.
You know what I mean?
I think he had kind of faded from public attention, but this one brought him back in a major way.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But once again, I think, like we talked about, that he had such a distaste for adults being a 70-year-old man. It really shows in this film.
There's a behind-the-scenes thing. You can see it on YouTube. It's probably on the DVD with all the extras. I mean, it's pretty long. You don't want to watch the whole thing. But the scenes with him in it are pretty great.
Really?
Where he's talking, he's directing. You just see him in motion. And he doesn't seem like he's a 70-year-old man. Like,
okay.
He is so in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I got to check those clips out then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love seeing that. It's one thing to watch the film and then see the behind the scenes and stuff like that with certain directors. And certain directors can be very by the book, describing their films and giving you more technical knowledge about this and that and the other thing. But seeing a director that's passionate about what they did, that's a whole different thing for me. You know?
Yeah, he did not film this one in.
Yeah.
This was a passion project.
That's pretty cool. I got to check those out.
Yeah.
And if you're out there, you should do the same thing after you watch the film.
Yeah.
You know, if you're listening to this, check it out.
Well, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And as I think I alluded to earlier, it's not the kind of thing that I would normally like, because I'm actually not into hyper-violent.
Really?
No. We've had this discussion, and I'm sure we'll talk about it as we go along. I like action, but all the blood spurting kind of stuff doesn't really do it for me. But the fact that he really makes you get involved in the stories of these characters' lives, as I mentioned, I think it's amazing the way the script does that.
Right.
And I felt extremely involved and just like how the sheer horror of being in this situation like these kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And there was also just this bizarre, all-out, crazy, gore-filled comedy nonsense, which but I still think the tone is consistent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Absolutely.
You know, like it's swinging. Like there's one moment where you're supposed to feel bad for someone being killed, and then in the next moment where it's just like you're supposed to enjoy someone slaughtering a bunch of people.
Right. You're looking for the next kill.
But somehow it all works.
Right.
You know, it doesn't feel like it's swinging wildly from one thing to another.
Right.
Which a problem that I had with the previous movie we did, Doomsday, it just felt like it was all over the map.
Right.
This one doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like someone is really in control and has a vision.
Right.
And imparts it, but it's a completely original vision.
Well, there is that one scene with the two girls on the mountain they have the bullhorn. That's their weapon.
Yeah.
And they're calling all the other kids, hey, we'll figure it out. Let's do this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that's when Shuya and Noriko and Shogu are together.
Yeah.
And Shogu tells them, don't, stop.
Yeah. He warns them. Yeah.
Don't trust anybody. And then spiky-haired guy.
Kiriyama. Yeah.
He kills the both of them.
Yeah.
Violently. And then takes the bullhorn and it lets her scream into it.
Yeah.
So there are those scenes where you can see where they're trying to get everybody together. They're saying, we can stop this. We can get out of here if we all pull together.
Yeah.
And then you have these extreme violent moments just on the beat.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
It does things that you don't quite expect.
Yeah.
You know, like it keeps you guessing, like where the hell is this movie going?
Right.
And you don't quite know until the last. You have no idea how this movie's going to end.
And you even have that moment where Shogu pulls the gun on Shuya and Narita, and you're kind of like, oh shit,
you're not
really?
sure what he's up to. Yeah.
Is he going to kill them?
Yeah.
Did he use? Because he says you guys were gullible.
Yeah.
And I used it. So there are those moments where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it's got the odd moment, like you mentioned earlier with Kitano.
Yeah.
So the movie is it has so much in it.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel like it's overloaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't exactly.
It doesn't feel like it's overloaded.
And which was one of my complaints about Doomsday last time. Again,
that's everything
I
in
kept
the
calling
kitchen
it
sink.
overstuffed.
Right.
Yeah, this one doesn't feel like that.
Right.
Everything feels purposeful.
Right. There's a meaning to all of it.
It's a director who's totally in control, who knows what he's doing. Even if I don't know sometimes why he's doing it,
right?
I feel like he knows what he's doing.
Even the simple deaths, like we talked about, like the two kids that jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
Where the girl convinces the boy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of shy about it. He doesn't want to kill himself, but he figures, all right, fine.
Yeah.
And they jump off the cliff.
Okay.
It's literally, 30-second scene?
Yeah.
But you go, oh, wow, it still makes sense. If you're going to kill off all these kids and have them, dying on screen, you got to explain where'd they go.
There's like a mini arc in there for these kids.
Right, exactly. In a minuscule kind of encapsulated moment.
Which, that takes a lot of skill to pull that off.
And there are those moments with some of these characters that aren't the main protagonists or antagonists.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
And like I said, the spiky-haired kid running in and out.
Yeah.
Kind of like the supervillain of it all. He just shows up like the Terminator or something and just starts shooting people.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. It has a lot going for it. And if you've never seen it, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah. And I'm the one to tell you, again, I don't usually like these kinds of violent movies, but give it a go.
Yeah.
If you're like me, you might be surprised by it. I got one question for you, though. Okay, when Kawada dies on the boat, they're all talking to him and stuff, does he have a stiffy?
I didn't look at his crotch, man.
I watched it again last night, and it's like, well,
Why are you looking at his crotch?
Well, I'm watching for like the third time, so I'm like looking around the frame, like looking for details. I'm like, what? Is there something?
He had a boner?
It kind of looked like there was a bulgy thing happening right there.
Dude, if I was going to die, I would have a boner too. Why not? Take the blood away from the wound, put it to an important part.
It might have been like the angle or something. I don't know.
I can't believe you're talking about his crotch. Wow. Oh, fuck it. Why not? There's a joke in that shit, too.
All right.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Okay, two pieces of business. One, how badly does the future suck in this movie?
Well, it sucks if you're 19 or if you're in ninth grade.
I barely survived high school as it was.
Imagine if you had to go to an island.
Yeah, no fucking way. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks pretty bad.
So ninth grade, how old were we in ninth grade? That means you were 16?
That's feeling 16.
15, 16?
Yeah, 15 or 16 generally.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. It might be different in Japan, but that seems like around the range, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, if you're in ninth grade, you're a 15, 16-year-old, it sucks pretty hard.
Yeah.
If you hit this lottery.
Yeah.
I want to associate a lottery with good things. You win something, win a prize, not going to an island.
Like Shirley Jackson's a lottery. It's that kind of lottery.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty piss poor.
Yeah.
If you're an adult living in Japan, it seems, in this alternate future, it seems like you're fine.
Well, we don't know. I mean,
they don't explain.
10 million people out of work? Who knows what's going on?
Is that explained in the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
The opening, yeah. 15% unemployment.
But still, at least you're not going to an island and getting slaughtered.
Exactly, yeah.
So why not take all that money that you're putting into the BR Act and turn that into jobs?
That would be a good
Make
idea.
factories, whatever the hell.
Well, there's probably a large infrastructure need to support Battle Royale. And those guys are put to work, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
Or more military.
Yeah.
But military don't get paid much.
No, they don't. They get paid
So,
shit.
yeah.
Those guys seem incompetent.
Yeah. They just kind of stood there and threw bags
Everything got
at
shut
kids.
down. They're like,
We don't know what to do. There's a crazy character on the screen, and we're being hacked. Oh, we don't know what to do. Really? You've been working in this project for how long, and you don't know how to stop a hacker? Okay, all right. I can stop a hacker right now on my computer. Turn it off.
That's what Kitano did.
Yeah,
It's just like, I'm just shutting this shit off and on. Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
It's like a 5.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. It's hard to tell in a way.
I would say the same. It's got to be like a 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're a kid stuck on the island, you get killed. Yeah, it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But otherwise, if your number comes up, yeah, it stinks. But the way lotteries work, who knows?
Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. And at least if you get out of it, like our main protagonists did, they're just on the run. They're kids and they're on the run. Basically, you just get to travel and hang out and just be kids and not have to go to school anymore and worry about the BR program anymore. The BR Act.
I understand in the novel there's like a new Japanese empire that controls all of East Asia.
Really?
Like it's like that kind of thing going on.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
So where are you going to run to?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, one last piece of business. Do you have the ceremonial coin?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay, whose turn to flip?
You flipped last time.
Okay.
So I am going to do the flip.
Okay.
I'm going to flip.
Drum roll. Heads.
Tails.
Okay, you get to call it.
All right. I have been wanting to review this film for a while now.
Okay.
I would like to do Dread.
Okay.
Dread.
Interesting.
A modern
Okay.
dystopian film based on the 2000 AD comic character,
All right.
Judge Dredd.
Let's do this.
I think it's a great modern dystopian film.
Okay. And just to clarify, we are talking about Dredd, not Judge Dredd with Stallone, right?
No,
Okay.
we're talking about Dread.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Awesome. I look forward to it. Okay, time to wrap this up. So, as we've mentioned before, we're on many places. We are on YouTube. We are on WordPress. We've got a website. We're on Podomatic. And now we are on Google Play.
Woo!
You can find us. I didn't tell you about this.
No.
Yeah, we just got it
I'm finding
today.
out for the first time right now.
That's right, yeah. So there are many places to get at us. You can tweet at us through uselessinfo. And yeah, talk to us. We want to hear from you. Whatever you got.
Absolutely. Get at us. And once again, if you have suggestions about a film that you would like us to cover, or on our other podcast, The ABCs of Metal, Anti-Seminal, if you would like us to review an album, talk to us about that.
Talk to us and we'll make fun of you and ignore you.
Exactly. We'll ignore all of your requests. just to be
we,
pricks.
We will actively mock your request. We'll yeah, we'll make fun of it. Yeah, we'll consider it. We're good guys. Come on.
Come on over
All
here.
right.
I'm Walt.
I'm Max.
Thanks a lot.
Till next time. Bye.